Hello and welcome to tutorial 60, where we're making our own version of Minecraft in Python using Peter Amland's Ursina engine. So last time we got our inventory in the UI system semi-functional. So if we press E, that unlocks the mouse, so we're in like inventory mode, and then we can drag and drop our icons, something like so. Lovely. It would be lovely if I had a green one, an emerald, because there was a bug at the end of the last video to do with their colours. Anyway, press E again so we can go back into game mode. And now if I press 1, I can now build with Ruby. However, there we go, right on cue, there's a bug. The ruby red colour sometimes switches, and that's because of the way that we're playing with a random tint or shade when we're applying the texture in the generate block function. So we're going to have to sort that out. If I had a green, like an emerald, there was also another problem when I was creating like green blocks after a ruby, then that would kind of stain the emerald block. I'm not quite sure why that was happening. Anyway, what else have we got to do? Well, when we press E, we'd like an inventory panel to come up, and also we want to just place some of these guys around. And oh yes, maybe in the save load system, just reading some notes I've done for the preparation for this tutorial, we want to be able to save the block type via the terrain dictionary, which we're not doing at the moment. If we're creating terrain, yeah, we're just saving it as T on the terrain dictionary to say there's some terrain here, there's a block. We're not actually saving the block type yet, which we need to do. Okay, first, correcting the color. So here I am in the mesh terrain module, and I'm in the generate block function. So now that we can refer to the block type and more especially the minerals dictionary, which is on our config module, here we go. So inside this dictionary called minerals, just referring to block types really, we've got strings for the different minerals, grass, soil, stone, and so on. And then the data at each of those dictionary entries is a tuple of UV coordinates, except if down here, like ruby and emerald, we've just copied 9,6, which is concrete, just a pure white texture, and then we're shining through that for our third element on this tuple is a vector 4. So that just means it can talk to Ursina's color object, which is a vector 4. It's just got the red, green, blue color channels plus the alpha channel for opacity and transparency. For example, emerald, which we didn't see unfortunately at the start of the video, has an opacity of 0.8, so 0.2 shy of being fully opaque. Whereas ruby has been set to 1, so it's fully opaque, you can't see through it at all. Okay, so what we're doing, if we go back into generate block in mesh terrain, we're saying if the length of the minerals block type, so whatever block type we've selected, say soil, is greater than 2, that means has it got a color, a vector 4 object. If it's greater than 2, so greater than the UV coordinates, then go and grab the second index. So 0 is first, or I should say the number 2 index. 0 is the first index, 1 is the second, and 2 is the third, i.e. that vector 4 object. Let me just count that off so it's very clear. So 9 would be 0, 6 would be 1, and this vector 4 object, this whole thing, would be 2. Hence my putting 2 here. So it just gets off that vector 4. Just as here, down here, you see you've got a vector 4 in the same place. So both of these are vector 4s, red, green, blue, and an alpha channel. Now, the problem does happen down here, starting line 120. Once we've got that colour, let's say from ruby or emerald, we're then minusing an amount from each colour channel. Now, that's a problem, let's say if we're ruby, because we've only got a 1 in the red channel, but we've got a 0 here for green and a 0 for blue, which doesn't correspond to having a 1 there and a 1 there in the green and the blue. So this isn't really working. So what we want to say is only do this for ordinary ordinary materials that don't have that extra color information, and I'm just needlessly lining things up. Okay, but we do want to add this like a little bit of random tint for our hard-coded objects. So we've just got to be a bit more sophisticated. So I'm just going to copy this code so that we can adjust it. So remember, all I said really was the problem was we're calculating from 1 minus this random amount. The random amount code we can keep exactly the same. But what we want to do is say, well, get out each little bit of this vector 4. So we want to go inside like 0 here would be the red color channel. So let's say color channel CC. CC minus C, is that bad? We'll call it color element. CE, so we want 0 there. Now I haven't created CE yet, so it might be a bit mysterious. CE there and CE there, whoops. So that's the green one, and that one is blue. And then finally, we don't want full opacity because like emerald, it might have its own value. So that needs to be not minus anything, whoops. It's just CE 3, i.e. the fourth, the fourth element. Right, so CE doesn't exist, so all we have to say is, well, CE equals minerals block type, whoops, block type 2, and then that's it. So just this, just getting hold of the vector 4. So let's just write a little comment because that's not clear. Grab the vector or vec4 color data. There we go. And now I suppose I should just write a comment there. So adjust each color channel separately. And why? Remember, it's a good idea to explain why you're doing something in a comment to ensure that hard-coded hue or color combination or RGB combination is maintained. That's not the word I want. There's a shorter word than maintained. Is something. Is faithfully is represented, is maintained. If you can think of a better word than maintained, I would genuinely change that in my code if you could leave that in the comments. Better word than maintained. But it's got to be shorter. Okay, so lovely. Right, let's go and test that out first of all. First of all, let's just have a look at my notes. So correcting color, that's what we're presently doing. Oh, what we did last time, number 2, number key selecting building block type. So that is done. Yes, but not a full smiley face because there was some problems sometimes. If I remember the last video, like I was selecting either it was these hard-coded color things again. There's something slipping by our system here. Which is not quite right. Anyway, I'm sure that bug will come up again. So, correcting the color, saving block type correctly. Yes, because at the moment, on the terrain dictionary, we're saving any block that we make. In the terrain dictionary, we're just saying T. There's a piece of terrain there. We're not saving what type of block it is. So when we load terrains that we've built or things that we've built with specific block types, that data is not being saved. It will just turn into a soil or a grass block when we load it. So we need to sort that out. Okay, so we'll have that in the back of our minds as we go and test out this colour shading and tinting. I wonder what, oh, we've got emerald this time, good. So if I just press E and then click on these quickly. Oh, another thing we can do is, so we don't have to prepare all these, we could just call the fixed position function and they'll go and find themselves. Hello Panda, do you want to see something great? I thought it was just, yeah, he's just going to walk away. No, okay. Right, so I'll select 3 and this should now be ruby. And we shouldn't see them white, but we should see them, yeah, getting lighter like that middle one. And that one's darker. That's good. So if you don't like this behaviour, if you want them to be exactly the same shade of red as you kind of hard-coded, obviously don't code what I just did. You could take that off, take that out, or switch it off would be better. Okay. Oh yeah, so now if I do green, it will be stained red, or it was last video. Yeah, look. So why is that staying red? It's definitely because if I go to 9, this will look like an ordinary grass block. No, it won't. Oh, some of them. So it's like the red light is shining through them. What about 1, just the white? Now 1 is being set to like emerald. Now it's going white. Now it's okay. I wonder what's going on. Because at first I just thought, you know, I've selected 1, but I'm getting emerald, i.e. what's in position 7 on the hotbar. But that's really not the issue. Well, I don't think it is. Because something, yeah, more dastardly is happening underneath with the textures and the colours, because the grass block, where the colours aren't hard-coded, it's just derived from the texture file itself, the texture atlas. That's being like masked weirdly. Okay. Anyway, we have solved part of the problem. There's this additional thing. Okay, let's put 6, part 6, investigate colour staining bug, which I'm scared of. I don't really have a clue yet. Okay, saving the block type correctly, and I think I've saved myself, so I've listed some things to do. So, well, actually, we can go and do that bit first. So in mesh terrain, where does that happen? Oh, here we go. So we're recording a gap. We're recording the vertical information. The vertex information. This is what we want. Record the terrain in the dictionary. So at the moment, we're just saying at this position, if there's a block being created there, say T. Excuse me. Now, I think that should happen right at the end. Here. So after we've actually created our block, let's have that there. And I suppose we should move the other stuff down there as well. So if it's a gap, down there as well. So all that's sorted. Don't think there's an issue with the vertex being down there. I don't change any of that data. Okay, that's great. Right. So we haven't accomplished anything yet, so that needs to be, so what we need to save there is just blockType. There we go, that should sort it. But I'm not happy with this. 8.5. Why I'm not happy with this is because this should refer to block type. If we're placing a stone block, we haven't actually changed block type. We're just changing the UVs, as in here. So we need to say, we need to do this before that. Okay, that's the most efficient way. So X there. So I cut that, I mean. Kind of need to be doing it before all of that as well. Right, let's do it here. If laying terrain, so we want to say, we just need to say, what is that? 8.5 stone. So we just need to say block type, equals stone. Great. Hence, the beauty of dictionaries, keys being strings, and then cap with snow blocks. So this one, block type equals snow. Oh, this is very satisfying because now under here, it doesn't matter that we haven't got the UV coordinates because UV coordinates will be picked up using the minerals config file. So because we've got stone, 8.5, because we've got snow, 8.6. Lovely, just as we had before. That's really satisfying. Okay, good. And then the block type, that's good. So this is nice. Randomly, so this should be done via Perlin noise at some point because we don't want randomness in our seeds. So if we create this exact as we are every single time we're creating the same world, it's got the same seed, we should have exactly the same colours everywhere to begin with. Right, anyway, that's not on the list, so I can ignore that, I can relax. Okay, so correcting colour, we've done, except for stain bug, see part 6, there we go. Saving block type correctly, oh, so that's now done, although I haven't tested it. So let's go and test it. What should happen differently? Oh, we should break it, yeah. You can pause the video now and try and think why this is happening. Welcome back if you paused or needed to or wanted to. So in, for example, the bump system, so the bump system, just to remind myself, it's a long time ago when we wrote this, this controls how the player walks across, or the subject walks across the terrain. And we're basically saying, yes, if we've got some terrain, or at this position, what do you have in the terrain dictionary? If you've got a T, then we're on some terrain. That's not happening. We want to say if there's a block type there. So how do we do that? There might be a clever way of looking through dictionary keys or something like this, but that sounds inefficient even with dictionary. Plus, I don't know how to do that really. But really, one way that we can determine that there's something there, we can say, well, as long as there isn't a gap or none, then there must be something else. And that something else must be a block type because we haven't got anything else there. So, because we're referring to this twice in our logic, because we want to say if it's not none or it's not G. So firstly, where's my get? I want to get hold of that X and I'll just call this what t for what terrain equals that. Yeah, that's great. What t equals that. Then I can say if what t doesn't equal none, sorry, not all, and what t doesn't equal gap, then return true. We must have found something else, i.e. a block type. Right, do I do that anymore? I must do, because we're checking walls and things. So I'm just looking for actually, yeah, here where we're looking, yeah, walking on the train itself. So, oh, that was to do with bumping up here. Yeah, bumping the wall, so I've done that bit. Now it's actually walking across the terrain, which is a very similar thing. We're just saying, that shouldn't be -2, that should be minus step, because step is 2 anyway. I'll leave it as it is, and let's just get this done. So, again, we're going to need 2 references, and we've got to be careful, because this is y plus I, and this one's y plus I plus 1. So they're not exactly the same. Okay. So x is going to be what t. So what t equals that. That's fine. So it does not equal none. And what t, and what t doesn't equal g. Great. Now we get past the next level. So I'm checking, yeah, above. And we want to say the same thing. So I'll call this what t2. What t and what t2? Let's call this what t1. What t1, what t1, and this one what t2. So what t2 equals this x, Control V, Control X, Control V. What's that? Terrain. Yeah, so that's great. And now I can say if what t2 doesn't equal none, and what t2 doesn't equal g. Lovely. And now we're checking stomach height. So very similar thing. Can I refer to what t now? Or what t1 again? What t3? Just in case we're getting any conflicts. I'm not getting any conflicts. I could just reassign this. But I'm too tired to think it through. So, what t3 equals that? If what t3 doesn't equal none, and what t3 doesn't equal g. That feels okay. It feels a bit repetitive, but so maybe there's a very clever recursive way of doing this. But we've very closely replaced what we had before. Essentially, instead of just saying if it equals t, we're not saying that now. We're now saying, well, as long as it's not none or g, then carry on. Everything else is the same. Block same. Good. That should be sorted. So we should be able to walk on the train now and bump into walls as before. Presumably then, mining might be different, and building. Oh, and then saving and loading. So let's try and look. Oh, and the highlighter. I can't highlight anything. So presumably when it's like raycasting, our simple raycasting system, it's looking forward and it's waiting to see if it hits anything at that position with a T in the dictionary there, but there's not. It's nothing is going to be recorded with a T. The whole block type is going to be recorded now. Oh, but look, I didn't even think about it. we're now walking over correctly and running and go backwards. But I can't check if I'm bumping into things really very well. Can I fall? Yeah, that's great. Okay. Okay. So let's go and sort out the highlighters. So we've done the bump system, building, etc. Oh yeah, I did record block type in the train dictionary only at the end of generate block. That's the first thing we did. So that is done. So building and the highlighting the block. I think the block highlighting happens in mesh terrain. Let's look. Do mining. Oh, it's in highlight, isn't it? Which I think is in the mining system. Yeah, in generate block now. Oh look, in generate terrain, I'm thinking later on, block type is automatically set to grass. Whereas we want to, from the block type, if it equals none, what? Generate, oh, sorry, this is generating, yeah, just, sorry, cycling around generating terrain. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, right, mining system, that's what I want to get hold of. There's a building system, inventory system. I haven't loaded the mining system, where our highlight function should be hiding. Mining system. And there's highlight. There we go. If TD, get there, so we're only reference, oh, we will refer to it twice, so, excuse me, I'll call that what T equals this guy if what T doesn't equal none and what T doesn't equal G. Great. That means I've found some kind of mineral. And then mining, that all seems to be fine. Great, okay. While we're here, let's go to the building system. Oh yeah, so this will be to do with some kind of check. Make sure no block there already. Well, that's fine, none and G. Oh, building system doesn't actually need to check. It's actually looking for the opposite, which makes sense. The opposite of mining, it's looking for G's and nuns, or setting things like that. And then actually, when we build, oh, this is a much easier way. I just remember, look, I managed to get the length, the magnitude of a vector. without using NumPy's linear algebra thing. That's good to know. So it's worth coming in here anyway to be reminded of that, which happened, God, like 6 months ago. 6 months, wow. Okay. Okay, so before we go and jump in there, let's go to the inventory system and sort out the scattered horrible mess of our items. So we want to run fixed pos when we create our items. Where do we do that? Well, there's the items list. These are hotspots. Here's our items. Okay, so just before we add our buddy, our new item, to the items list, we'll say bud.fixpos. And that'll go and find the nearest, or its nearest, hotspot. And I'm only going to ask for 8. So we've always got one space on the hotbar so that we can actually move them around. Okay. So there's a little bit of the inventory again to whet our appetite for making the major inventory panel. Oh look, fixed position works wonderfully. And E, I can drag him over there. Oh, we've got quite a good variety of things this time. Right. And it'd be good, I guess, when we've selected something to have it highlighted. And also, I guess we should highlight hotspot number 1, or the first hotspot. And that should be set to grass. Or soil, I guess, something like that. Anyway, brilliant. I'm building with Ruby, as I should be. Now do I build with snow, because I've selected snow, and it's been stained red. So it's, oh, now we've gone back to normal. Weird. Maybe the whole subset was being stained that colour or something. I'm not sure what's happening. What happens when I turn on terrain generation? Is that getting stained? No, so that doesn't stain. Oh! No. I thought it was maybe in the building somehow, but it's in generate block where all the colour information happens. Okay, this again. I was getting these bizarre white colours. Maybe I have to regenerate the colours or something. It was quite cool. I should cook. Oh, I can't wait until we start generating different biomes, and I've got ideas for like rocks and obviously trees and things. But look at this, having like see-through jelly caves and things. That'd be really nice. That's quite exciting. Right, I want to kind of save that. Actually, let's test that. If I press M, that saves the map. There we go. And I'll test loading that in a little while. We should have that lovely jelly area, or that emerald area. But at the moment, I think it will recreate the terrain, everything as grass blocks. Yeah, let's have a little look in mesh terrain at these colours. Generate the terrain. Sorry, in here, yes, generate block. So we're extending its vertices there. The model equals the subset model. If length, okay, so extend blockType to else extend 1 minus everything. CE0, 1 and 2, CE minus a random amount times the number of vertices, so all should be the same. UVs extend. Wait a minute. Do the UVs have to happen before the colour? No, I don't really know. Again, answers in the comments or suggestions in the comments will be welcome, and we'll try and work this out. Right, I need to stop thinking about this and go back to main. Here we are with our list of adventures. I put the R in. Missed the R off last video. Okay, so yes, number keys, select building block type, kind of done. Make an inventory panel. Are we on that bit yet? No, we're not. Yes, but we can now walk. Oh, I didn't test bump. Oh, I kind of bumped into things, didn't I? So that should be done. That should be fine. I'm happy to say done now. Done. Right. Yes, save load system. Oh, fix hot positions at instantiation of hotspots. That has been done. Brilliant. Inventory panel creation. Right. Let's just go for another 10 minutes. Keep it a nice short video. Map name. Okay, maps and saving and loading. So let's just run it and see what our map looks like. And we can test bumping a little better. So I'll just press L for load map. Oh dear. So that's awful. Oh, well, at least it's invisible. At least, sorry, it's solid. Being invisible is not a good thing. That's kind of fun. So I can build on top of lots of things and mine. Okay. That's because nothing's been saved with blockType, right, presumably. So let's go to our load save system. Oh, our panda was probably falling down because in a lazy way, I should be referring to a general walking across a terrain function, but I've made a separate one for the mobs, so they don't bump into things yet. So I need to generalize that at some future point. But at the moment, all we have to do is change from looking for, here we go, T, to looking not for none, not G. So what T1 equals this guy. What T1 does not equal none, and what T1 doesn't equal G. That should be fine. And again, if we get through that, we've got another check. So what T2, again, is going to look at the terrain dictionary in a slightly different position. And we want to say, well, as long as that's not equaling none, and what T2 not equaling G, then there must be blockType there, must be some terrain or something built. Great, and then we lurk around. Okay, so we've updated that, that's good. And we're on our way to the save load system. Yeah, first thing, I remember seeing this on my list, we could just say up here, map name equals, let's call it June. when I'm presently recording this. So we'll call it June test 1 dot. What's a cool word for terrain? Land. There we go. A land file. A land file. June test 1 dot land. Now we can save any or use any file extension we want because we're pickling our data into a file and using bytes, bytecode, not text or JSON or anything like that. Okay, so at the moment we're saving it as terrain map 1 and it's a panda file which we've made up. I've got to keep that like that at the moment. I'm going to replace that string with map name in a little while. So what was going on? Well, when we save, all we do is save the subject's position and the terrain dictionary. Okay, I suppose later on, now we've got inventory, we need to save the subject's kind of data. What hotspot had they highlighted or currently highlighted when they saved it on the hotbar, as well as what inventory they've got. So that'd be kind of fun to make that structure of data later on. It's here loading the map, so we're reading the bytecode. So we're destroying all the stuff that we've got there. And terrain dictionary equals map data 1. There we go. If it equals t. So it won't equal t. It will equal, well, it won't equal some. Right. Get key. So you can say what t equals this guy. And then we can say if what t doesn't equal none. Could we just say it doesn't equal none actually? Why am I saying that? Because, no, let's just say, and what t doesn't equal g. So remember what this is doing, although we've got a terrain dictionary full of blocks and things like that, so we'll be able to walk across the terrain, we haven't actually generated visually the terrain going on, and that's what generate block does on the mesh function module. It goes and sorts out all the vertices and textures, etc. And the block type doesn't want to be grass. It wants to be the block type at this position. So what t? Is it just what t? Because that's going to be the data. No, it's going to be the key, isn't it? The key. No, I'm getting mixed up with the minerals. God, it is going to be the data. It's going to be the data, which is just what t. Surely. Let's just run it now because I think we've done everything we need to do in terms of saving and loading. Which wasn't too big. I'm saying this as though it's going to work, but we didn't have to change a lot there and it all kind of made sense. Which I think suggests we've been doing some good programming. Right, I can still blister mine. Notice I'm just delaying the inevitable. Right, okay, let's just do it in a hole. Let's just do it in a hole. Oh, jeez. It actually made me jump. Right, I'll press L to load. Oh. We can see stuff, and I'm especially excited because I can see the wonderful jelly caves that I made. Oh, and interestingly, it saved exactly the right colour, i.e. when the wrong colour was generated. Or, no, I can't remember exactly where they were positioned. Maybe it's just reproduced the problem. I don't know. Oh yeah, I remember laying those down. Brilliant. So now you can create, or we can create, buildings and things and terrains, and the color information will be retained. That's brilliant. Let's just go and recreate our hole over here. And we shall save in the bottom of it. I was going to say the ruby of enchantment, but look, I've got no rubies and I've got no, I haven't even got emerald on my inventory. So it'll have to be this weird blue thing. What was that? Ice. There we go. I've made an entire tower. So now if I go and look up here, I'll go and run up here, stand on this little pedestal. Oh, that's interesting. I'm getting like a bit of grass poking through the snow. That shouldn't happen, should it? Oh, look. Random emerald. Oh, look. Yeah, the weird staining thing is happening over here. Interesting. It feels like, almost like on Wreck-It Ralph, when a weird glitch and things is kind of like corrupting the code. These colours are being corrupted somehow. Anyway, I'm going to stand up here, face that way, press M to save the map. So that's saved. And now if I quit and then run it again. Oh, it's been 45 minutes. I need to stop very soon. Oh, I haven't even started the panel. So I'll have to do that next time. So I've got to go and watch Stranger Things, episode 3. What am I doing? G, and then if I press load. I'm at the top of the mountain. Lovely. There's, yeah, they look slightly different distribution of white squares. Oh, let's have a look at the top. Have we got that corruption happening? Yes, we do. Something to do with subsets, isn't it? And then, yes, I've got soil and my ice tower. Brilliant. Okay, so quit that. Right. So that's good. So saving block type correctly done. Record block type done. Map name constant at the start of the save. Load system. Yeah, June test. So map name will now go in here, which sets us up for later on, kind of on the start game, the menu. We'll be able to select the map name and we'll be able to look in the folder and find the maps that we've saved, so we can choose different terrains that we've saved. Because at the moment we're just writing over the same file, which is really bad, and you have to change it in here. At least now, by using map name, we are only having to change it up here. Save. Right. Now, actually, we have saved the panda one, but we can't access it from the code as it stands. Anyway, you can just hard code it for now, or make your own little menu system. That's obviously fine. You can do what you like. What am I looking for? Main. Oh yeah, I just want to say that was done. So now we can save and load. Inventory panel creation, static method, yeah, toggle behavior. Oh yeah, because we want it to appear and disappear, which the hotbar doesn't do. Investigate color staining bug. Right, those will have to wait until tut 17 notes. How exciting. So we'll start with those. That will be part 1, and that will be part 2. And then we'll do something interesting part 3. Who knows? Maybe it'll be trees. Oh, I did mention an earthquake in the other video. I'll show you how to make earthquakes. Yes. Right, hopefully that was enjoyable. A slightly shorter video, we actually did. Thank you very much for watching. Leave any comments. Goodbye.